Hey everybody, welcome to my shop. Well, hey guys, it's time to get back on this Arbor support build, and I've got a tool bit ground, got everything set up in the shaper, so we'll give it a go and get some shaper action. Like I said, I'm still kind of learning the shaper, still learning tool bit grinds, so we'll see how it goes. Obviously this thing's got the capability of, you know, flinging some big chips, but we'll just start off easy until I get comfortable with it. And got you seeing through the Canon, so that way I can zoom in and get some good shots. So we'll get this thing fired up and make some chips. Let's give it a whirl. Let me zoom in and we'll get a little better action. Actually, let me get you over here. Come on, camera, focus. Ah. Alright, looks like the tool bit grind's working good. I'm doing 30 thou depth of cut. About 30 thou step over. And obviously I can speed it up. Let's change gears on this thing. Hang on. I got her sped up. 23 strokes per minute. This is cool. I like it. Let me see if I can go in better, if this camera will cooperate. No. Alright, I'm just going to let it do its thing, and I'll bring you back when we get close to getting this thing, you know, at the end of the pass or so. I don't think I got my tool grind just right. Looking at the chips, they're kind of more of a shear action than a cutting action, but so far I think the edge is holding up. We'll see. I may have to hone it some more. Trying to get you some good shots, guys. Sorry. gonna go handheld with the GoPro here so I can get you in a little better. But so the tool edge is holding up, but like I said, I don't think it's the right grind. Looking at the chips, surface is still a little rough. May need to work on that nose next time, but it'll do for roughing this out. So let me move the table back and we'll do another 30 thou depth cut. So I sped things up a bit. We're doing 33 strokes a minute, and step over is 30 thou, and we're still taking that 30 thou depth of cut. Camera's on the vise, so it's a little bit shaky. Sorry about that. But that way I can get you in close. Not that often we get to use the shaper, so get some good action shots. Well, it's time to get back on this Arbor support build project. It's been a few days, and when I left you last, we were just humming along, chewing this pocket out, and I was making my last pass, and getting ready to call tonight. It was a little bit after 7 o'clock, you know, and then we're going to go inside and cook some dinner because the wife was going to be home here shortly. The shaper just stopped, like somebody just killed the power to it. So I'm like, huh? You know, it's my good best Scooby-Doo impression of Ruh-roh. So I was like, huh. So couldn't come out here the next day, and then the next day I finally got a chance to get out here and poke around and figure out what went wrong. And the starter motor relay kicked the bucket. So let me go handheld and show you what we got. So that's where she stopped at. I said we had almost finished the job for the day, but then you come around, and like I said, I was poking around like what's going on here. And let me get a little bit of light just in case that'll help or not. If you can see that arm in the middle, the plastic broke, or is that Bakelite? I'm not sure, but this thing is about 80 years old if this is original equipment, so I figured that's probably pretty good for this old electrical system. I ordered a new, more modern, up-to-date starter motor relay, and FedEx says it's going to be here in like 2 more days, so I can't wait another 2 days. I'm jonesing to get back on this project and get some stuff done. You know, I've been hoping to get here and you know, the package got delayed, so I've been cleaning up in the shop and you know, even ground the finishing bit. So I've done all I can do, but I've got a good day to work in the shop today. It's a holiday, and we're just gonna have to go ahead and pull this thing out, and we'll just have to finish it in the mill over there. We'll just, you know, run the face mill over that and get down to our final dimension on this. And you may get a little bit of wind turbulence on the mic from the fans, but it is actually a cold wave today. It's only 90 degrees. Believe it or not. I mean, last couple weeks it was nice in the high 70s, mid 80s, beautiful weather, and then all of a sudden about the last 4 days it just shot straight up to 95 degrees. I mean, just wham. It's been 95 for the last few days, so you know, 90 I'll take it, but I got to run the fans to stay cool. So we'll get this piece out and we'll get it chucked up over there at the Excello, and we'll get to making chips back on this project. I just made a pass across the top, 30 thou depth of cut. Let's see what we got here, how much more we got to take off. Using my stair at 449, nice long base. And let's see, we're at 175, 185, 190, about 192. So, all right, another cut. Getting the last pass done. Hopefully you can see that pretty good. Last pass, she cut it flat, but looking at the pattern, looks like I've got probably 1 or 2 inserts higher than the others. They're doing most of the cutting, and you can just barely feel this line. I use the table feed to raise this up to cut, and when I did the 2 slots with the milling cutter, I did the quill, and it looks like the quill is off a little bit because, just like I said, you just barely feel it. It's maybe about a couple thou deeper, but I'm not going to do another pass. We're good. I've got it at the measurement that I want, so we'll get it out now. Test fit it. Did order studs from McMaster Car. If I hadn't already mentioned that, they're supposed to be in here tomorrow. Some half 13s and some flange nuts, so we can you know, get this thing bolted on and this part get wrapped up. So let's get this thing out and test fit it and see what we got. Actually, let me deburr these couple edges. Hold on. Let me get this one off. Kind of washing it. See how's she gonna fit. Well, I thought I was wow, thought I was 10 thou big, but man, that's a snug fit. Look at that. Wow. All right, I have to put a clamp on it, but yeah. There she is right there. She doesn't move at all. If you can see that, let me it's almost too snug. Let me see here. Let me get some light. So hopefully that helps so you can see it. Let me turn you down. Handheld. So alright, well, cool then. Now we got to work on figuring out and getting these 2 top clamps. So trying to get you in a good position here, but next thing to do is figure out the angle on this dovetail here. And I got my stair at 359 bevel gauge, so I came up here and just ran her and I got that, as you can see, good fit, and that ends up being 45 degrees. So that's what we're gonna have to cut these blocks at, and I think kind of just going off of this one here and then a little more, I think we'll do 2 inches will be fine. So I'll get over to the bandsaw and we'll cut 2 pieces off that what was that, 1 1/4 by 2 inch stock that I bought. See the little puppy? He's been running around. He's tired now. Splashes in the water, comes in here and runs back out. Growing like a weed. Got the blocks cut and I just got them in the vise here. I'm going to just square them up. So getting it situated. Gonna bring the table up. I'm gonna touch off and just use that same face mill, and we'll just take a few thou cut until we get both blocks the same size, and we'll just keep flipping them over and get them right with the world. That was a 5 thou pass. See, it didn't clean it up. Get back over to the other one. And keep them the same height. That one's cleaned up. I'm just taking it down to the right height for this first block. We'll do another 5 while we're here, and then we'll go over to the other one. That should be it. I can rotate them. Clean up this first one. Get your little face mill footage. Like I said, I think I got 1 or 2 inserts that are a little bit lower than the other ones. I'm not cutting them evenly with all 5. Feeding by hand, trying to do a nice consistent feed, so it'll be a halfway decent surface. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get them out, get them deburred, flipped around, and we'll start, knocking out the other sides. But I'm not going to bore you with that. I'll bring you guys back once I got the blocks the way I wanted them. FedEx just arrived, so we got our starter motor relay switch for the shaper. So we are going to take a quick break from your normal viewing pleasure and get this baby installed. So this is what the modern version looks like. Hope you guys can see that pretty good. So I'll get this thing wired up and the shaper will be up and running. Yay, can't wait. And of course my McMaster car order just came too. It came FedEx, so the driver only had to make one trip this time. And we have our half 13 studs and our flange nuts. So cool. Well, we interrupted your normal viewing pleasure for this important update. So got the starter motor relay in, and after a couple hours we finally got it working. It was a little bit confusing because this is about all they send you, and we tried to work through it and we couldn't get it to work. If we pressed the manual button we could get the motor to come on and run, but we couldn't get it to energize, and we finally had to call the company. And the way they've got this labeled, let me zoom in, and so see the 13 and the 21 and then the 22 and the 14. So it's a little bit misleading. So if you go to that terminal, that's actually terminal 21. 13 is hidden in the back. Same thing with this one. 22 is in the front, 14 is hidden in the back. So we were using 13 or 14 is what we thought, and we're actually on 21 and 22, and that's why it wouldn't work. So apparently the guy on the tech line said this is kind of a common theme, so I wish they'd label that better, so these people that buy these things wouldn't have to you know, pull their hair out trying to figure out what's going on and when it's not labeled properly. But long story short is we have us a running shaper again, so that's good. And then we'll do a little update. You can see he's growing like a weed. He is 18 pounds and he's 11 weeks old. So he found a piece of my scrap aluminum, and that seems to work better than a a $5 plush toy. Go figure. So anyways, let's get back to working on the Arbor support. So I just got my order in from Shaw's. I decided to order their 8-inch premium dial caliper. If you remember when we measured the outside here, I used that set of calipers, and I was getting like a 10th out reading, larger than the numbers that we're shooting for. And Brian Block, you guys know Brian, he mentioned on his a comment under there, under the video, that his calipers seem to measure off when you're measuring basically from here on these two jaws here. You know, I guess it would be an ID because you're always usually measuring, you know, the OD using these two jaws. So I thought, yeah, that could be the error on those. So ordered a decent set of calipers, and let's just kind of see if we're going to get that same, what, 7 inches, 790 thou. Like I said, I haven't checked the calibration on this. I just pulled it out of the box, but I bought the better one that's supposed to be calibrated. And let me get back in the frame here. And well, yeah, that's funny. Now this is reading even larger. Let me see if it's okay. Huh. Did it not cut straight? Interesting. Of course, you just saw in the previous clip how tight this thing was. So, alright, well anyways, at least I got a nice set of 8-inch calipers. So, we'll add that to the tool arsenal. looks like it cleaned it up. Almost. Looks like I need to take a few more thou. Alright. So now that we got the shaper up and running, perfect timing. This side here is a flame cut edge, and of course I tried it, but the milling cutter did not like it. So like I said, perfect job for the shaper. We'll get underneath that hard outer edge there. So we'll get these chucked up. I'm gonna re-hone that bit that's in there now, and we'll just clean this top up, and then these little top clamps will be done, and then we can mark out our 45-degree angle that we'll have to take off. So see you guys over the shaper. Got you set up here on the vise. Hopefully this will work. So I got both pieces in. I reground and honed the tool bit. So touched off, and then went down 30 thou. See if that'll get us underneath that scale. So let's do this. Well, I guess it'd help me get the table in the right direction. There we go. Hopefully you guys are in a good spot. So we can get a little closer here. And finish actually looks pretty good. That tool bit hone is a lot better than the first attempt, especially for this mystery steel here. It's getting under that flame cut edge. Looks good. See if I can get you back in here. Hopefully the light's good right now. Hopefully the light's pretty good and you can see that, but came out really nice for you know, it's probably 1018, so you know how the surfaces are going to have to be a nice finish compared to other metals, but looks good. Perfect job for the shaper. So now the blocks are all square and true. Let's get them over to the I'm getting over to the welding table. I'm going to lay out my lines and get our angles, and then we'll get back over to I don't know, I'm not sure yet if I want to just mill them on the milling machine or I'll set them up here in an angle and let the shaper do its thing. So, let me just go ahead and get them laid out first, and then I'll figure out the plan of attack for removing some metal.